All right, guys, welcome in. Happy Sunday. Happy start of the week. So I just wanted to hop on real quick, give my 2 cents on what I have planned for this week, the days I plan on trading, the days I don't plan on trading, and why. So first things first, I always look at the Forex Factor economic calendar here to kind of give me a guideline as to what to expect for this week, high impact news wise. As we can see, Monday, we pretty much don't have any high impact news relating to USD. So I don't regard these unless they're within that time frame that I'm trading in the morning session, which I'm not. This is 10:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., so it wouldn't really pertain to me. But yeah, it's just interesting to see how the market will leave maybe perhaps areas of liquidity. But again, this is not USD, so it doesn't really interest me. So I'll be treating this as like a no news Monday for the morning AM session. And then Tuesday is a really important day because we do have this tentative USD news, which I'm not sure when it'll be coming out, but we do have a following 10 a.m., right? This 10 a.m. News that we'll be watching out for. And I'm actually only going to be trading until Tuesday morning and then taking Wednesday off. I typically don't trade FOMC. I just let that day kind of play out. This day tends to be a little bit tougher if you continue to trade through the PM session, but I've noticed that during AM session and according to ICT, you stop trading after the AM session here, right, to get the most probable price action. I've found that to be true. So as long as that continues to align, I only pretty much have set that rule for me to only trade the AM of this Tuesday and then take this day off. So hopefully we go golfing or something, do something outside of the charts for sure, work on other things that we need to work on. So, and then we'll be back Thursday. Thursday, we have a pre-market news, right? This can create some interest for highs and lows, for data highs and lows. It is USD, so I will pay attention to it. And then Friday, again, trading it like a no news day, coming in with very little expectations. If we do take a trade, it'll probably be lower leverage just because, again, no news, no need to push the envelope, especially if we have a little bit of a rougher week to the start, but I feel pretty confident. Again, we have to exercise patience and continue to follow the daily chart to see what our bias is. Right now, moving over to the daily chart, prior to the week starting here, we were aiming for this buy side liquidity for the week. So our weekly bias was correct. We did expand up higher, right? Taking out that buy side liquidity right here. But so now what? So now I really want to see if we're going to continue to push higher or we're going to see some type of rejection from here. Now, do notice that NQ does have this daily inefficiency here, and we've created relative highs. So I would also not be surprised and opposed to trading lower if we're going to continue to go lower to these areas and unmitigated PD arrays down here of this area that has not been mitigated. This can be an area of interest here. But again, I'm not too convinced that we just continue to push lower. We can, but that's why I'm being a little bit more open with my bias, and I'm not marrying a bullish bias or a bearish one. So just coming in neutral into the week, expecting us to either retrace down into this level after taking some form of buy side here, which we've been engineering since last week, which will put us into this daily inefficiency, which would make sense for us to logically move lower, right? And then in this case on ES, we don't have that inefficiency. So I would expect this to be like some form of SMT, right? Where we pump up higher, we sweep, and then we displace lower. So leaving some form of higher time frame SMT would start to convince me that we might be going lower, aiming for unmitigated PD arrays like this one on ES that looks really good, right? And throughout the week, last week, all we've been creating is nothing but low resistance liquidity here. We go to the hourly. This looks really suspicious to me. All these lows that are being protected, right? It makes sense for market to come down here and be able to sweep them coming into this daily inefficiency before heading higher. If we will do that, I will be leaning more towards bearishness after we see some type of higher time from SMT. But as of right now, I am just neutral, right? Neutral. We took some trades. They're all documented live on the YouTube channel if you guys want to go back and review them. Pretty long videos. Some of them are a little bit too long, in my opinion. But again, I just wanted to give you guys the raw footage of what it is to be trading in these markets. Sometimes it's a couple hours. Sometimes it's only an hour, 2 hours. I aim to not be on the charts for too long, but sometimes we do get carried away just tape reading, and that's not the worst thing. I do enjoy tape reading as well. But I do have to realize when it becomes a little bit more harmful than helpful in regards to just building tension when you continue to see setups built and you don't take them because you're just tape reading, quote unquote. Kind of differentiating between those two, right? So not just being like not just saying you're gonna tape read and then being like just building tension there, right? So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents for the day. I don't want to make this video too long. Other videos are a little bit more insightful with psychology and overall management of trades and whatnot, and my 2 cents on those days. But right now, I just wanted to come in, kind of give my overall approach for this week based on the economic news calendar, and then how we've met these targets from previous week that we've been aiming for, which is our buy side. I really thought we would dig into this daily by end of week, right? This is where I took a loss actually. I could review that real quickly since it doesn't take that long in here. Incredibly premium entry. I've done this mistake multiple times, but it's very interesting that I really got married to this idea, right? And this is where I'm telling you, I make mistakes all the time, right? And I just have to learn from them. So once I seen this reaction here, I wanted to go into the market and participate to the high, given that I hadn't participated in anything down here, which I didn't like, but I did like this idea here. We sweep inside the 5 and then we displace higher, inversing these gaps and then leaving a fair value gap here. I entered here and then gives me a little bit of green and then instantly goes to stop, aiming for this 1 to 2 up here. So this is how the trade looked like. This below the sweep inside the 5. Really like that. And then we're just targeting the inefficiency, which in many cases, not in all, but this happens a lot where we engineer buy side and then go lower to take out everybody that's been going long, right there. And then we start to either displace higher. That's why I really am confident that we do go up into this area before heading lower. Either once we open today throughout London, we expand up there, or in the New York AM session, we manipulate up into here and then head lower if we're going to continue lower, right? But we can easily continue higher. So that's why I'm neutral. Now going into the rest of the day, we just continuously dump and we come sweep this liquidity here, right? Which is a logical level. We sweep this and then it's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. All the way from up here, all the way back down. And then we slowly trickle our way back up, right? And there's actually a setup right here, which I did tape read, but I did not take because I was done for the day. After sweeping this major liquidity, we have this next candle up close with this wick. This wick indicates a turtle soup. So there could be a setup there, and there is. This is when I just was tape reading. We have our low, high, lower, low, breaker, order block, displacement for value gap. Too many confluences to fail, right? We have way too many P to raise for this to fail. And then we have our fair value gap that holds. If you don't want to participate in this candle, wait for the closure. That looks good. You could buy a market there. I would probably have a limit, knowing myself and how I trade. I always put a limit there. So I probably would have got filled right at the fair value gap. And then my stop below the low. And then you would just target your opposing buy side, right? Your nearest buy side, or if you want to take a partial at the fair value gap here, which we can reject, you can take for a 1 to 1. But most of the time, I always aim for 1 to 2. So I should have my fixed rate ratio right around there, right? And they would give it to us there. And then ultimate target right here. So yeah, just something to back test on. We come right back into it again later on, and then we displace out of there completely. Again, we leave that fair value gap. That can be another entry if you're aiming for higher prices. Why this area? Because this is where we've just swept this major liquidity, right? And this is your pre-market 5-minute fair value gap, which is only being used because we've swept this liquidity already. I did not check this out, but let's check this discount wick. Yeah, discount wick comes to the top quartile, and then we displace higher. Yeah, I don't think I would have took the second one, but this one looks really good after the sweep, right? So just a little bit of a back test that we did on that day. But yeah, guys, I didn't want to take too long on this video. Hopefully you guys found this insightful. You guys have any questions, or feel free to drop your plan for the week down below. Are you bullish or bearish? Don't forget to follow Just Another Transaction on Instagram, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.